Hello. Today I want to talk about listening to the gentle nudges from the world, the universe, life. And I'm continuing the series of being a lie down comedian. Right now I'm a sit down comedian, but hey, I'm on the floor. I'm not in bed per se, but I am chilling. I'm in my daughter's playroom. Got my husband's office back there. Love that you can just see me in the chaos of life. And yeah, I want to talk about those little gentle nudges from the universe, from our subconscious, from Jah, from the mysteries. And yeah, I'm not even sure how to talk about it because I don't have a personal framework for this necessarily, but I do have some tools that I use that I want to share. Although yeah, they're all borrowed. They're all stolen and borrowed and I suppose made into my own in some way, but this approach to life is at once so grand and tiny that it's like, duh. That's just the way life works, one step at a time, one moment at a time, 1 second at a time. Yeah, I'm thinking of the book Tiny Experiments by Anne-Laure Neste. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting your name. But she's really great. Just look up the book Tiny Experiments. It's essentially this premise of committing to a small, repeatable action and just seeing how that creates momentum around bigger things without reaching for that bigger thing first. So, for example, with these videos that I'm making, the bigger thing that I want from my life is to be able to sustain my livelihood from my creativity. And in many ways, I do that. My job is very creative, but it's very limited in the way that I can use my creativity. And yeah, I'm not gonna quit my job and just go all in on something that I don't even know exactly what I'm building here with this series of videos. I also have a Substack, and for a long time, I had an astrology tarot business. I imagine if you know me, if you're familiar with me, you probably are one of my awesome clients or have been familiar with my tarot astrology work. And I love that. But it wasn't giving me what I needed. And I think there's a lot of pressure to put on my clients to create my whole livelihood for me. I don't know what it would look like for me to truly sustain my livelihood through my creativity, but that's why I'm experimenting with this format. I'm just trying something and seeing where it lands and not really putting too much pressure on myself to have it figured out, which feels really confusing. And I imagine maybe it's weird to watch or be part of, but I think what I want to offer you, the viewer, is just a vision into like, this is what it looks like to not really know what you're doing and do it anyway, and to commit to yourself and to just be like, well, I'm all I got. Let's just see where it takes me. Because ultimately, I do really want to help and serve, but I just don't know what, in what way I can be most helpful and in what way I can be most of service. Because I know eventually I'm gonna, with this process of just showing up daily and creating these little tiny experiment videos, I'm going to I'm going to create space and momentum in my own life to provide something that's more valuable, more rigorous, more detailed, more structure over time. But I'm just not there right now, and that's okay. You know, I think in this season of life, you can hear I've got the sniffles, and if you've been following my last couple of videos. I started this series from bed because I've been sick a lot. I've been underslept and kind of scattered in my priorities as a mom, a working mom, and honestly, working mom is it's a lot. Someone who has comedic aspirations, artistic aspirations, trying to get out there to these open mics so late, so late at night. It's really like this time right now. It's 2 p.m. I'm recording this and I'm like, this is my time. I was like, can we do open mic on a Sunday afternoon? Can we not? I want it's my dream to organize this one day. I can sense that it's inevitable. I just want to build some community around me so that I can validate the idea first. But yeah, where was I going with this? Right. In this season of my life, actually, my health is my biggest priority because that investing in my health will allow me to show up for other things with more sustainability and integrity. And so I'm deprioritizing being more detailed, being more specific, being more rigorous, honestly. And I'm not hiding that. I'm not half-assing anything, but I'm also just being clear about what my capacity is and what I can offer. And I think with something like this, I really want to get feedback. I want to know what's resonating, what's not resonating, if people are watching these videos at all, or if they're not, if they're just scrolling by, because that's feedback too. So I refuse to let myself get bogged in the details, and I'm just calling in the next little step, the next little video, the next little nudge. Yeah, and in so many forms of my life, like yesterday, biking home from picking up my daughter at preschool, my husband wanted to take a different route, and I'm like not the most confident on a bike, which is a longer story because we could sidebar right now a little bit. I learned how to ride a bike when I was like 21. I'm sure I have dyspraxia. Okay, I'm sure. The YouTube algorithm has convinced me that I have dyspraxia. But in any case, I learned how to ride a bike when I was like 21, and it was this little fold up almost like moped. It was like super low to the ground. And it took me 3 times longer than anyone to get anywhere. And I would constantly be like hitting the side of my leg against the part where I'm trying to fold it up. It was ridiculous. But in any case, I'm the ripe age of 37 now, and I still bike occasionally. And it's summertime here in Toronto, so the biking is good. But yeah, so sometimes I'm hesitant to commit to journey, like an uncharted journey on the bike. But I was like, you know what? It's a beautiful evening. Let's go this way. And I ended up running into someone, an old dear friend of mine who I hadn't seen in years. And I was actually waiting. I was like, because I moved back to Toronto just a few years ago, and I was like waiting for the time that I would run into them because we'd lost touch. But I've just been thinking about, oh, when am I going to run into them? And then I ran into them, and the synchronicity was so cool. We had both had a kid around the same time, and we were looking forward to hanging out again, and we exchanged contact. And I was like, I'm so glad I followed that nudge. I'm so glad I trusted my husband's guidance and leaned into the excitement of it, because I think sometimes we're nudged in directions that feel scary and exciting at the same time, and sometimes the fear is louder than the excitement. So something that I do almost every morning is just ask to be shown the next step. And that can be in a specific part of my life. Lately, I've been asking about my health. Just show me, please, what is the next step for me to really get a solid baseline for my health. And you can do that with your career, with any creative project, with your food, your relationships, whatever. But I think just opening myself up to seeing the possibilities of the next steps, that's the key. That's it. It's very simple and it really works. So thank you for joining along on this little experiment, my sitting down comedian shtick. And I am ending this so awkwardly. I wish you a beautiful day. Bye.